up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we are recapping Week 4, Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. And the Commanders again fall 25-10. And let's just get this out of the way. The refs sucked, okay? I understand we didn't play very good, but let me tell you, Terry, they even showed a highlight at one point where Terry's getting shut down. Every single one of those should have been called PI or could have been called PI. They were calling them correctly on our DBs all game, not calling them at all on then illegal contact after 5 yards on Trayvon Diggs. The first third and long, Terry was wide open. It's just terrible. All right, okay, got that out of the way. This game, other than penalties, pretty much went how I thought it was going to go, right? Like, we stopped the run. Ezekiel Elliott had 19 carries, 49 yards. Tony Pollard had 8 carries, 6 yards. As a team, they had 29 carries, 62 yards. We put it on the arm of Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush gave us 2 easy interceptions. We gave it back to them with defensive holdings, which they were. They were defensive holdings. And one was illegal contact by Benjamin St-Juste, just stupid. And then the other was a defensive holding on Will Jack. And neither one of those penalties had anything to do with the interceptions, right? Like, if we didn't do those penalties, those interceptions would have stood, and this game could have been a whole lot different. Trey Turner got benched, and rightfully so. And unbelievable. He got benched after 2 drives. He should have never started this game after what we've seen of him in the past couple of weeks. But eventually they finally made the decision, brought in Sadiq Charles. Sadiq Charles is not the answer, but he was better than Trey Turner. We need to get an offensive right guard, right? We got rid of Brandon Sheriff. I wish we drafted Trevor Penning like I wanted in the first round. Then we could have kicked Sam Cosmi inside. Whatever. It is what it is. And our right side of the line would be a whole lot better if we did that. But instead, we're getting destroyed up front. And Wentz only took 2 sacks today, but that does not tell the whole story. He was under pressure again several times. Several times. Even on play action. We couldn't even get any time on play action. We're running the ball well. 27 carries for 142 yards. What is that? Well over 5 yards a carry on average. We were running the ball well in this game. And yet we were doing play action, and for some reason we still were getting 0 time. And I know the reason. It's not for some reason. It's because our offense refused to block anybody. They would just come up the middle of our offensive line and immediately get into Carson Wentz's face. It's unbelievable. No blocking whatsoever. So Carson Wentz ended up throwing 2 picks today. One of them was at the end of the half. The other one was at the end of the game where the game was pretty much out of reach anyway. That sucks, right? And Carson Wentz, again, did not look great. Unfortunately, he did not look great again. He's inaccurate. He's all over the place. But the offensive line is not giving him any help. Any help whatsoever, right? Carson Wentz has his issues. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? But similarly last year with the Colts, he's not getting any protection or any time to help him out. And it shows, because when he does get pressured, he starts to fall apart. And most quarterbacks do, so this is not even necessarily a huge knock on him, but he's certainly doing it. He's not doing enough to move out of the pocket, avoid the rush. He started to do that towards the end of the game. Don't know why he couldn't have done that earlier in the game. Scott Turner. Why don't we move the pocket for Wentz? Why are we just having him as a sitting duck in there when we know we can't protect him? That's extremely frustrating to watch as well. Scott Turner, give him credit, I guess, to get a couple of catches for Terry McLaurin in the first quarter. Terry McLaurin had 2 catches, including one on the first drive. And he should have had a PI called when we threw it his way on the right side on that first drive. But penalties started shooting us in the foot all around, offensively and defensively. We had a 3rd and 8. Get off the field. Nope. Penalty. Automatic first down. We had a 2nd and 17. Defensive holding penalty. Move them up 5 yards. We had 2 interceptions, like I mentioned. Penalty. Give it back to them. Move them up. Whether it be PI or defensive holding or whatever. Offensively, we were driving the ball well. early in this game. We got into their territory, I think, all of the first 4 drives. And then all of a sudden, penalties. Intentional grounding calls by Carson Wentz. Cooper Rush didn't get that. Even though he threw one in the dirt. Ezekiel Elliott was in the area. Okay, Logan Thomas was in the area in the same way. Both of them were completely throwaways. It ain't like Zeke Elliott was 2 yards away and had a chance at anything. He threw it into the dirt 7, 8, 9 yards away. It was no chance for Ezekiel Elliott. But anyway, I digress. And again, just to say this about the refs one more time, it wasn't that they were really calling bad calls against us. They were just not throwing flags against Dallas for very similar issues, but it is what it is. So yeah, move the pocket, Scott. Move the pocket for Carson. Yeah, it's frustrating to watch this team, no doubt. But you know what? The defense, in a lot of ways, stepped up. Other than the penalties, William Jackson got way too handsy today. Way too handsy. But other than the penalties, the defense actually played a whole lot better than they have in the past. Right? Like, this 25 yards is because of penalties. We literally had, or almost had, I guess, I think garbage time this changed. Garbage time this changed. But you can see here, 11 penalties for 136 yards. Up until that final drive where Carson Wentz got some bogus yardage, we only had 155 yards of passing yards. We had more penalty yards than we did passing yards. It's that bad. It's literally that bad. We had almost had more penalty yards than rushing yards too. But we ran the ball well. Yeah, there's not much positive again here to take away, except for our run defense. Our run defense looked really stout. Jonathan Allen had a day. Jonathan Allen was awesome today. He had 8 tackles, led his team in tackles as a defensive tackle. That's awesome. Had as many tackles as Cole Holcomb in a defense that is supposed to be funneled linebackers getting tackles. So 8 tackles, 1 sack, and 4 tackles for loss. And he also had a batted down pass deep in Dallas' territory where if he could have located the football, he could have had a tipped pass interception to himself for a touchdown. That would have been incredible. But unfortunately, he didn't do that. Montez Sweat is basically non-existent, right? Like, he's getting no pressure. We were getting no pressure on Cooper Rush. None. Nothing on Cooper Rush. It sucks. And the Dallas offensive line is banged up. And we still have zero. Like, Cooper Rush is able to just stand in the pocket clean as dead. It's horrible. With all that talent on the defensive line, we have no ability to get any pass rush going. Any. It sucks. The only sack on the day came from a Jonathan Allen sack. Outside of that, we didn't get anything else. I would be curious, too, on like the QB hurries, on how many Cooper Rush was actually hurried. He had so much time today. And because he had time, he was able to deliver some beautiful balls downfield. And he also was not afraid to just throw it up because he knows that penalties are going to happen. I mean, you could probably add 60 yards or 70 yards to his total. He probably had almost a 300-yard day if you add in the pass interferences and defensive holdings. CeeDee Lamb had one drive where he had like 3 catches back to back to back, and then he had a wide open touchdown. William Jackson just let him walk in. It was a simple corner, skinny post, and you would have thought that it was the best Allen Iverson crossover ever to exist, because William Jackson is just 7 yards away from him after the cut. Not even close. William Jackson was abysmal today. Kendall Fuller was bad. The secondary in general was just bad. Bad. All right? Benjamin St. Juice. We're playing 10 yards off the football, and you're going to jam 10 yards down. You can't. It's illegal contact after 5 yards. You can't play 10 yards and jam. Come on. You know, I get on here to hang out with you guys and talk to you. Thank you guys, everybody that was in the chat. It was a lot of fun, even though we lost. But it's fun to hang out with you guys and talk to you guys. Yeah, again, second week in a row, it's hard to take anything positive because our offense is so abysmal. So abysmal. I'm all in for firing Ron Rivera and company. Ron Rivera, you're a great human being, great man, but I don't want you as my coach anymore. I want a young buck in here. Give me Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions. I want him. He's a young, offensive-minded coordinator. He's like 35 years old. He could be in the realm of Sean McVay or Kevin O'Connell or, young offensive coordinator, young offensive mind that could really help this team. What's the coach's name for the Packers? Whatever his name is. I know he used to coach here in Washington. For some reason, I can even LaFleur. There it is, LaFleur. Could be another guy like him. That's what I want here in DC, and hope that's the direction we go. We'll see. We'll probably end up hiring, Trash Can Don or something. I don't know. Who knows? But that's who I want. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other things to say. So you guys let me know what you guys think about this game in the comments below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate you guys that we're all in the chat, like I said. And hop on our Discord underneath. You can become a channel member for $1 a month. You can help support the channel that way. But just hitting the like button underneath, hitting the subscribe button helps a whole lot. And I appreciate you guys watching until the end. And I'll see you tonight for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Chiefs. And until next time, see ya!